Hi, in this video I'm going to show you 3 powerful strategies to fix your credit fast. In fact, many have already used these techniques to remove negative items such as bankruptcies, collection accounts, and charge-offs. You'll learn strategies like the PI minimizer technique, the item anchor method, as well as the 15-day power surge. I'm Ali Taraftar, founder of bestcreditresources.com and privatewealthclub.net, and I'm here today to provide you with bespoke financial mentoring. So stay tuned to find out exactly how you can take advantage of these powerful strategies that is a must if you're looking to fix your credit. Okay, so here we are in today's very important presentation. Now, most of you are probably wondering what those 3 techniques are, and without further ado, I'm going to be presenting them to you. Now, it's important that you take a piece of paper, perhaps a notepad, and write some notes down, because we will be going over some sample letter templates. In fact, I will snapshot them and send it over here so you can take a look. And these 3 very powerful techniques are incredibly useful, right? Incredibly useful. So I'm going to go over the presentation with you now and let you handle it from there. Okay, so let's begin. So I'm going to show you 3 powerful techniques to help you get your credit fixed fast. And when I say fast, I don't mean overnight. In fact, you'll probably have to give it a good 60 to 90 days, but this technique does work. And I just want to give you guys a high note. Okay, results will vary. It's important that you get the logic behind why we're doing this in the first place. Now, a lot of people will say, well, Ali, if it's going to take 60 to 90 days, I might as well do other techniques. And here's the thing. You can selectively go through other techniques, but the goal of this powerful strategy is to give you something that's progressive, something that's going to help you get the outcome that you're looking for. So let's go over what the first strategy is. The strategy number 1 is called the PI minimizer technique. The PI minimizer technique. Now, in this strategy, all you're simply doing is requesting the credit reporting agencies to remove any and all personal details that they have on you individually. You're essentially trimming down the fat, right? All you're doing is asking them to remove any and all extra personal information that they have on you. Now, by requesting the removal of any additional personal names, numbers, social security numbers, addresses, and perhaps other personal identifiers, you're removing the association with potential negative items. Once again, I'll say that one more time. By requesting the removal of any additional personal names, numbers, social security numbers, addresses, and perhaps other personal identifiers, which in times are businesses that are affiliated with your name and or address, what you're doing is you're essentially removing the association with your potential negative items that are holding you back from attaining the perfect ideal credit score that you're looking for. So here's an example of the letter that you can actually send them to remove all those personal identifiers. Now, if you want, write this down, snapshot it, whatever you have to do. Again, you can replay this video at any point, just to pause and write down a sample of this letter, right? So I'll read it out to you aloud. So it states, "To whom it may concern, I have just completed reviewing my personal credit report. There are a series of inconsistent and inaccurate information from my observations. Below is a list of personal details that I would need adjusted so that it is accurately reflects my information." And you would put your name, please remove, or let's say a list of names, please remove. You would put your list of social security numbers in most cases, please remove. A list of phone numbers, please remove. Addresses, I forgot to say date of birth, even if that's the case, you can put that under other information, please remove, right? And then you continue. You say, upon removal of the above reference items, please send me a copy of an updated credit report. Thank you. And the reason why you want to do it in a simple format like this is because it gets straight to the point. There's no nonsense, no garbage. You just straight out ask them, look, I have personal information that's not accurate. I don't believe that that reflects upon who I am at this moment. It's not accurate, so please remove it. And you're requesting that, right? And you have the right to request. Now, this step is essential. If you're looking to get the best outcome for your credit repair and enhancement efforts, this is a must. So what's the outcome going to look like? Now, you should have these consumer reporting agencies get back to you with what you've requested. Okay, that means that they would either remove the information that you requested to remove, and please keep in mind that you're not disputing or challenging credit-related items, right? These are strictly personal details, personal identifiers. That's why we call it the PI strategy, right? Personal identifier strategy. Okay, so PI minimization strategy. So by this stage, you probably have some negative items fall off as well. And the reason I say that is because some of these negative items that are, on your report are affiliated with the personal identifiers that you just got rid of. In fact, that the consumer reporting agencies got rid of. And that's pretty unique. And that's a very powerful strategy right there alone, which most people don't get the understanding of, right? Now, what if the negative items are still there? And this is given that, of course, they've complied and removed their personal identifiers. What about the negative items that are still there? Well, there's good news. We're going to go to strategy number 2, which is the item anchor technique. Okay, the item anchor technique. And what that means is simply a follow-up of the PI minimizer technique, right? All we're doing is we're using the strategy to challenge the negative items that you want gone, which were affiliated with the personal identifiers that we just recently removed or were recently removed by the credit reporting agencies. And this is very powerful because you didn't tell them to remove the negative items or your personal information. You requested it, and they've done so. They've complied. Now, if the information that's negative on your reports are affiliated with any of those associated personal identifiers, whether it be names, addresses, social security numbers, now it's on them to prove that these items that are negative were not affiliated with that. So it's going to be a very challenging process, and that's what we call this the anchor technique, right? So once again, that strategy is called the item anchor technique. We're anchoring those personal identifiers to these negative items, right? So by challenging those affiliated negative items, you're more likely to get a positive outcome. Basically, they're going to either completely remove it or they're going to tell you exactly what to do to get it taken care of, okay? So here's an example that you can send them. Here's a letter example that you can write to them. This is based on, let's say you remove your personal identifiers and now you're on step number 2. You have negative items that weren't not removed, and now your goal is to challenge that. So here is exactly the letter you should send them. Now you can write this down, pause, take a snapshot, rewind and play back this video or pause it. But I'm going to read it aloud for you so that you can actually grasp it, okay? Together now. To whom it may concern, please find attached and circled the item that I am at present questioning. It is to be noted that the item in specific may be affiliated with personal information that you have removed prior. That's a very key sentence right here, okay? It is to be noted that the item in specific may be affiliated with personal information that you have removed prior. Now, please see attached proof of removal as per your letter. So you send them a copy of the letter that they originally sent you with circling the information they removed. And of course, now is the good part. Now, below is the item that I am challenging for its validity and on whether or not it is compliant to be reported in the first place. So you would put your item name and then, of course, the account numbers. If you have a list of them, you'd see below are the list of the items that I'm challenging, right? So you just simply change up the vocabulary a little bit, and it's not that complicated. Now, once you're done with that part, you say, at your earliest, kindly send me an updated credit report upon removal of the said referenced item or items. Thank you, and you sign off with your name. And this is a very powerful strategy. And the reason why it's very powerful is because you're essentially saying you're anchoring your personal identifiers that were just recently removed, and you're stating to them that these are the items that are affiliated with those personal identifiers, and it is up to you to be compliant, therefore you must remove them, right? So if done right, the negative items that you have or are questioning and challenging should come off by now. The result will be, of course, an increase in your credit score. That's a very fast and rapid way of restoring your credit. Just by using the PI minimizer method and the item anchoring technique, you should be able to get the outcome that you're looking for. Now, it is possible, okay, that you spend a good 60 days on this to get the outcome that you want. It's not going to be quick, it's not going to be efficient and fast, but it is progressive and it's the right thing to do, and it's the most powerful technique you can use. Now let's assume for a minute here, okay, that the items are still there. Nothing's moving, nothing's budged. What do you do now? Okay, what do you do now? What's the next step you got to take? Thankfully, we have our strategy number 3, which is the 15-day power surge. The 15-day power surge. And the 15-day power surge's goal is very simple. It's to follow up with the other previous 2 strategies that you've already implemented, which is the PI minimizer technique and the item anchoring method, right? This process is fairly easy. All you're doing and now, instead of corresponding with the credit reporting agencies directly, you're essentially communicating with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or CFPB for short. To do this effectively, you'll need to file a complaint with the CFPB. It's as simple as that. It's fairly easy and simple. You also want to pay close attention, though, to exactly what you state in your complaint. This is the key here. If you don't know exactly how to file your complaint the appropriate way with the right verbiage and context, you can have a hard time, okay? So, and to help you, I actually created some examples for you. So let's start with the first one. Here's an example of what you got to say when the problem is. When you're fighting the credit reporting agency, here's what you got to say is the problem. So if you want, once again, snapshot this, write this down on a notepad or piece of paper, rewind this video to play it back, pause it, and take the note, okay? And as we're doing this, I'm going to read it out loud so you can have the information. So I am writing this due to non-compliance with the CRA, and you put the name of the CRA, whether it be Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, and then you go on and you say they have failed to remove information that was affiliated with personal details that were challenged in the past. And you can actually, with the CFPB, attach documents and proofs, and you can scan them so that the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau can check them out. And then you finalize by saying, I strongly believe that they are in violation of the FCRA and are outright refusing to uphold the law. It's as simple as that. 3 sentences to the point. And of course, you know, you include the names of the accounts and all of the information that's necessary for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to come into assistance, okay? Here's an example of the resolution you should write. So in the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, you have two boxes that you have to fill out. The first one is the issue, and then of course, what kind of resolution you want. Now, this is very critical, right? So what you have to say in the resolution is very direct and say in 1 sentence or 2, I would request that the items be removed under the CFPB's supervision. You want the CFPB to step in into the territory. You're requesting them personally to take care of this. You are filing a complaint, so they do review that. They're a very powerful entity. Right below the Supreme Court, they have extreme levels of financial discretion at their disposal. And of course, the power and authority to fine them in the hundreds of thousands of dollars for non-compliance, which is a lot more than the FCRA, okay? So, and you continue the sentence and you say, once done, I would request a copy of my updated report reflecting the new changes. It's a very simple resolution. Now, once again, you can snapshot this, play this back, pause, whatever you need to do to write it down. But I'm going to continue. So the reason why I call this the 15-day power surge is because it usually takes no longer than 15 days for the CRAs to respond to the CFPB. Okay, usually 15 days or less. And of course, like I said, non-compliance is very, very harsh. And we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars if they don't comply, okay? Now, by now, at this stage, the negative items that you were fighting and challenging should come off, okay? Of course, there are one additional step that you can take in case nothing works, right? And this is the bonus strategy, which I call the MVP process. The MVP process is very powerful, okay? The goal of the MVP process is to ask 100% certified and authenticated testimony on whether that data furnisher was compliant or not. Once again, the goal of the MVP process is to ask 100% certified and authenticated testimony on whether the data furnisher was compliant or not. And MVP simply stands for Method of Verification Process. That's all it stands for, okay? Now, of course, we're going to take it a step further. For the CRAs, so what we're going to do, it's a very challenging thing for the consumer credit reporting agencies, right? They don't like to take this extra step because now we're getting into legalese, right? Now, when you take the step, you're asking the CRAs and the data furnishers all at the same time to put in extra work, to verify some items and, of course, be compliant. Now, I want you to keep in mind, the goal of these multi-billion-dollar organizations, particularly like the credit reporting agency, is to save time because they have to uphold the shareholders, they have to be accountable, you know, they have stock to protect the pricing in the marketplace, and of course, you know, they have to be as efficient as possible. Now, if they're not, then that's going to be an issue, right? So the way to do this is simply by writing a letter requesting both the consumer reporting agency and the original data furnisher. So you're writing one letter, but you're copying both of them on it to supply you with proof that they were compliant with the FCRA, and more specifically, and this is critical, more specifically with the industry standards of reporting electronically. That's very, very important, okay? Now, here's an example of what you can write, and I want you to take some time, write it down, this specific template right here. If not, then I'm going to request that you keep a snapshot, you know, rewind this video, play it back, pause it, whatever you need to do, just have this information. And of course, as usual, I am going to read this letter out loud to you. So first, to whom it may concern. I am addressing both your office as the CRA, so you put the name of the CRA, TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, whoever it is, and you as the direct data furnisher. Now you put the name of the company, let's say if it's Verizon, let's say if it's Capital One, Citibank, whoever it is, you put their name, okay? And then you say, I strongly believe that you have violated the FCRA and are non-compliant with what you have reported. There are 2 reasons why I am stating this. Then you follow in the next paragraph. Namely, you first affiliated this account with an individual's name who previously had been placed on my report in error, which is true because you show the proof that the personal identifiers were removed, right? So and then you say, making you consistently report the erroneous item is a clear violation of the law. You put it straight to their face and you say, look, what you're doing right now doesn't make any sense. And in fact, the further you go on, the more painful it's going to be, right? Then you continue. Second, the item in question cannot be authenticated to be certified under testimony to be true and accurate. This is very key. The way that you say this is very powerful, because now what you're saying is the only way you can actually say that this is compliant and true and accurate is if you certify in testimony, which is a third party. Now they have to go and authenticate and get an affidavit and all that written up. It's a lot of work, right? So what you do after that, you say, here is the item in question, or let's say, if it's one data furnisher that you're trying to challenge and you have multiple items, and you say, here are the items that I'm questioning at this time, right? And you put the name of the account, whatever it is, and then you put the account number. And once that's done, what you go on in the final sentence, you say, once removed. And by the way, the reason I always finish off with that, I am not assuming that they're not going to remove it. I'm not giving that to chance. I'm not saying, please remove this item, remove immediately. All that verbiage and all that nonsense doesn't work. You have to assume that they will remove it. You have to show confidence in your letter. So you have to say, once removed, I request that you send me an updated copy of my report at the correspondence below, and you sign off your name. It's a very simple process, but the MVP process should help you. This is assuming that you tried the PI minimizer technique to get your personal identifiers taken care of. And by this stage, you've done your item anchoring technique to put the personal identifiers with the negative items affiliated with them to challenge them. And let's say if they didn't budge, then you would do the 15-day power surge with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, give them a 15-day limit, have the full power of the CFPB behind you on getting that resolved. And let's say even if at that point they don't budge, then this is a letter you would send to them, the consumer credit reporting agencies, as well as the negative item account holder, which is the data furnisher directly. Okay. So if you do this properly, if you execute this properly and correctly, you should receive a positive correspondence. If they fail, for example, to budge, or let's say they don't even want to do this, all you got to do is use the power search. You got to do the 15-day power search strategy number 3, and you rinse and repeat. You continuously rinse and repeat. But in this time at the power search, all you're stating is, look, here's a letter I sent them. They were not compliant. And you go back and follow the same process. Okay. So that should get you the outcome that you desire. That should get you your credit score boosted. And of course, your credit fixed really fast if you do it the right way. And if you follow the steps that I just showed you, and that should do the trick, right? And there is no need for templates. There's no need for you to spend out there and try to get these courses. This is a very simple process. This will definitely help you out if you can implement it. If you follow the steps that I showed you, if you write the letters the way exactly that I showed you, you should be good to go. The simpler, the better. Okay, simple is efficient. Keep that in mind. All right. So if you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you like what I shared with you today, in the comments below, tell me which technique that you find most intriguing. Which technique was your favorite one? And of course, don't forget to share this video. And if you thought that this was powerful, there's a whole lot more that I deeply cover in the UPCM. The UPCM is the Ultimate Personal Credit Mastery course. I will be launching this very soon. I'm in the phase of completion. It's very, very detailed. There's a lot more than credit repair when it comes to wealth. We all know that. We know that it's just, credit is just debt, right? It's not really getting you out of a situation. For example, if you want to be wealthy, if you want to live the lifestyle that you deserve, you want to take your family, elevate your lifestyle and standard of living, and you want to go into a home, you want to buy a car, you want to send your kids to college the right way and build that level of prosperity that you're comfortable with, then this course, the Ultimate Personal Credit Mastery, is the course that you want to have, okay, that you want to access personally. So with that said, I thank you guys for attending. And one last thing, sign up to get exclusive emails from me on a regular basis and almost daily. You get notified. And of course, you'll get the access to the early bird of the UPCM program. And to do that, just simply look below in the description. You'll find a place where you can sign up to get my newsletters, and I would appreciate that. Again, give me a thumbs up if you liked what I shared with you. If you found these strategies helpful, share with me below in the comments which one you liked, which is your favorite, which of the 3 or 4 strategies do you feel is your favorite. Okay, and with that said, I appreciate you guys. So I'll see you guys next time. This is Ali Taraftar, your guide and mentor. Bye for now.